How do we sell Temple? I mean, seriously, how do we talk about Temple? Temple of Doom?
Temple of Boom, the Cypress Hill album.
Secrets of the Hidden Temple?
Temple of...
Where'd that come from?
The funny thing about Temple joining the Big East is that...
I can't stop looking at it.
Well, we're over here. We're over here. They're based in Philadelphia, which is an excellent college football town. Oh God, I'm so thirsty. Whoa, Nelly. This is Shutdown Fullback.
I'm Spencer Hall.
And I'm Jason Kirk.
And we're here to go ahead and review the vast expanse of nothingness that we have for the next 6 months of college football. That's pretty metal. You're going to have to be metal to survive it. Thus, this is the metal edition of Shutdown Fullback.
In metal news, Isom, LSU women's soccer goalie, is trying out for the football team this year. Good idea?
Oh, not a good idea. Great idea. Nothing is a better idea than being a 21 or 22-year-old woman, attractive, charismatic, with your entire life on the internet, especially in something as male-dominated as football fans.
And not just internet people, SEC internet people.
LSU internet people, I see you, TigerDroppings.com. Nothing can go wrong with this idea, but if it does, remember, don't send your daughter to Louisiana.
If you send your daughter to Louisiana, do not send her to LSU.
And if you do have to send her to LSU, don't let her play sports with men. And if she does play sports with men, be sure that her boyfriend is a large alligator, a very large, hostile, unthinking, killing machine. Moving on.
Jim Mora, head coach of UCLA, barred parents from attending their children's pro days.
I think this is the sort of thing that we've come to expect from Jim Mora, being the intelligent, diplomatic, and brilliant man he is.
Jim Mora is a god!
Kind of a dick, too.
A god of dicks! Also in metal news, we should talk about Temple joining the Big East. It's, you have any thoughts about Temple?
Well, I was going to say that, actually, Temple really more than any other team. I mean, what do you think?
Well, I think the thing about Temple is that Philadelphia is known as an excellent...
But Oren, hey, you gotta look at this camera, dude.
This one?
No, this one.
That one?
Over here.
Just bullshit! Crap! In other news this week,
Nebraska and Southern Miss moved a scheduled 2013 game down to New Orleans.
natural rivals, Southern Miss and Nebraska, going to America's finest city, but also one of America's sweatiest cities.
The thing I picture is the Superdome sort of as just a big, big Jiffy Pop and all that corn in their pockets just popping all throughout the game as it gets hot.
Yes, that's because they can't stand it, and also because Nebraskans tend to bloat as they get older. Moving on and concluding this segment,
we have a crime blotter item.
We do. The Fulmer Cup was very active this week. Our annual ranking of teams by feloniousness and misdemeanor. Iowa State being particularly popular this week thanks to an interesting incident with a policeman. I think we have footage of this.
Yeah, let's roll that footage.
We hired professionals.
I'm Paul Rhodes. Iowa State Pizza told me a tight end was passed out. I am not proud of you right now. Iowa State do pizza and swords. Iowa State sexy weapons. Iowa State Music Department! Iowa State Music Department! Iowa State Music Department! Iowa State Music Department! Iowa State Police. What's the matter, young man? Had a few too many?
You guys are the least metal people I have ever met. In fact, the most metal thing on this set is this beer, which I am going to enjoy.
But you can do that. We're metal as hell.
This is the metal show!
Ugh.
Speaking of metal, let's talk Maryland football.
The snake pit yearns for blood!
Randy Edsall.
Doomed!
What's more metal than Doom? Nothing.
Nothing is more metal than doomed, and you know what is more doomed than anything else?
Randy Edsall.
Randy Edsall, whose president said this week that, I quote, well, he's our coach, and, I think he has some very, very positive
quality.
Goes in there. Anytime U's in a quote, it's effectively a death sentence.
Death sentence.
Metal. Told you that was metal. Moving on. We also have another Doom coach, Derek Dooley. We're just gonna go ahead and decide that Derek Dooley is doomed.
You're doomed.
Derek Dooley has been fired.
He's just a cruise ship filled with demon monkeys, on fire, sinking in a lake of hell spawn. That's what he is.
Metal is not a Mad Lib, man.
Metal is totally a Mad Lib if it involves Derek Dooley.
She's really mean. Hey, who's that?
That's the suicide hotline. You're gonna need it.
It's our friend Mac Brown.
I love it when he calls.
I know. You know what? Why don't we ask Mac Brown whether he's rich or wealthy today?
Like Mac Brown's not rich today.
Hook 'em.
Spencer, let me tell you something. I'm doing great. I'm looking around at my living room is bigger than Missouri's stadium. Spencer, I'm doing great. I'm wiping my ass with Dan Beebe's old shirts right now. They're $400 a piece, but they come apart as soon as you tug at them. Sure, I heard about the SEC's new TV contract. I left that as a tip to my favorite waitress at Hooters last night. I bet Gary Pinkel got drunk off Rex Goliath for some yellowtail. I don't drink to excess, Spencer, but when I do, it's off brandy tapped from Napoleon Bonaparte's skeleton. Take that, you poor drunks, damn Aggies. Speaking of the Aggies, Spencer, I feel bad for the Aggies. They balance budgets like my wife, emotional and with no basis in reality. Spencer, it's always good to talk to you, and drunks, damn Aggies.
Tell you what, that old Mac Brown,
What's he up to?
cashing checks. Hook 'em. Hail Satan.
Whoa, Nelly.
Touchdown! All right. So what is metal?
Well, there are a lot of things that are metal. I mean, do you want like a list?
Digame. Yeah.
All right. Serpents, centaurs, being crushed to death, crushing someone to death, crushing someone to the point of death and leaving them crippled, crushing on Danzig, pus pockets, goiters, boils, corns, burning crosses, refillable burning crosses, Walgreens, winding mountain roads, glaciers. Burning most things is considered metal.
I think she left one thing out of this list.
Craig T. Nelson.
And when you forget about Craig T. Nelson, you know who forgets about you? Our Lord Satan. Craig T. Nelson is metal as
Craig T. Nelson, head coach of the Minnesota State Screamin' Eagles.
Yes, loosely based on the Iowa football team. That's who this was supposed to be. Remember Hayden Fry, the white pants?
I remember Hayden Fry with the white pants.
Sexy as hell, metal as That's what this show is. Coach rocked your face.
Easily the best Big Ten show ever made, except for Alf.
Alf was totally a Big Ten show because it was slow.
Not only is it the most Big Ten show ever made, it's also the most Minnesota show ever made. In Minnesota, no one has a family.
Exactly. And also in Minnesota, you know that this show was fiction because it was about a successful football team in Minnesota. They've never had one of those.
What is that?
Rank fiction. That's what it is. And that's what made this show so compelling.
In fact, when Coach Fox decided to make a jump to an actual believable team, you know who he joined? He went and joined the Orlando Breakers of the NFL.
Maybe we can show a clip from that.
Let's take a look back at Coach Fox's transition to the NFL.
Join the cult.
Funny thing about the Breakers, they're actually a parody of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, which is funny because the Jaguars are themselves a parody of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So this is a yo dog situation.
Let's take a look at that clip again.
Join the cult.
Oh, that's so moving.
I feel like I'm really there watching the Orlando Breakers.
Who are the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Go Screaming Eagles.
I think we need to see it again.
Join the cult.
Really, stunning work.
Join the cult.
Jerry Van Dyke was the Dick Van Dyke of his generation.
At the top of his game.
There is nothing metal about Craig T. Nelson.
Oh, you could not be more wrong. For instance, the skulls.
Murderers among us.
Scream, Blackula, scream.
Extreme close-up. Ghosts of Mississippi.
The Incredibles.
The Poltergeist 2.
Action Jackson. I love that movie. Carl Weathers.
This has to stop.
Wag the dog.
dog.
Alex, the life of a child.
Ride with the wind.
Silkwood! WKRP in Cincinnati.
But remember, too, one of the most important things about this series is that it was the first show to ever tackle the important issue of what to do if a coach's daughter marries a theater mime.
Because that happens all the time in college football. Which, it brings up the question, what is it that coaches' daughters do?
Well, let's see. Bobby Bowden's daughter is an attorney.
Frank Beamer's daughter works for the Carolina Panthers, who came into the NFL the same time as the Orlando Breakers.
I think we figured out that all coaches' daughters are attorneys who work for NFL expansion teams.
In the mid-90s.
Fourth quarter, where champions are made and championships are won or lost, and where we are taking it to the next level, being metal as hell. Right?
No.
It's time.
That does it. It's time to go there. There is nothing in the world more metal than Will Goggans' beard.
Will Goggans' beard.
Will Goggans, Goggans of Will. The Trojans of Troy unveiled this mighty beard in a bowl game just 2 years ago.
It is the most metal beard and most metal thing to ever grace the face of college football. Yet I believe that with some improvements, we could fully metallicize the game of college football.
Will Goggans' beard everywhere.
Everyone has to have a beard. I'm sorry, Mo Isom, you're gonna have to grow one. Also, instead of just moving the chains, we have an ogre who's chained up who actually has to move his chains every 10 yards.
The chains will literally be moved.
That ogre could be played by Ed Orgeron.
Mascot massacre after every touchdown.
Absolutely, and in Alabama, they'd have two. Additionally, I think we need to improve the quality of the fight songs. Some of you have the right idea.
Georgia Tech, you're dropping a battle axe on Georgia's head. That's good. Tennessee, you're shooting federal agents. That's pretty good too. Montana, you got grizzly bears eating live pigs. That's awesome.
Yeah, although you do use the word tummy, and that's a little effete for our tastes. However,
one of you, we're gonna solve your problem right now.
Maryland?
Maryland.
You could do better.
We've got a new fight song for you, Maryland.
It's actually your state song, Maryland, My Maryland, and it is officially the most metal state song and potential fight song you could ever use.
Just pretend some natural Maryland. It's torture set. Let's have it for Maryland. That's the battle. Defend the streets.
Be the battle queen of your Maryland! My Maryland.
I hear the distant thunder hum. Maryland. The old line's bugle, pipe, and drum. Maryland. She's not dead, not deaf, not dumb. Huzzah, she spurns the northern scum. She breathes, she burns, she comes.
She comes?
Yeah.
Maryland, my Maryland.
It's hot, y'all.
That's it, game over. Did we win?
No.
Overtime.
Ogre time. Overtime, now with extra intensity in the top 25 college football themed death metal band.
Number 25, Garrett Sickles.
Number 24, Guns N' Rosenfeld.
Number 23, Byron Maiden Leftwich.
Number 22, the Schnellenberger Escape Plan.
Number 21, System of a Dane.
Number 20, Between the Bearcats and Me.
Number 19, Motley Crouch.
Number 18, Ed Reed and Cambria.
Number 17, Strapping Young Lattimore.
Number 16, the Gino Toretta.
Number 15, Mike Priced Earth.
Number 14, Mastodon Meredith.
Number 13, Bowling Greens of the Stone Age.
Number 13, 3 Inches of Kyle Flood.
Number 11, the Wake Forest Demon Deacons.
Oh, yeah, that works. Number 10, Max Sugar.
Number 9, Black Sabin.
Number 8, Queen's Rigged.
Number 7, As I Pat Dying.
Number 6, You Templetura.
Number 5, Kellen Mortification.
Number 4, Children of Bowden.
Number 3, Cradle of Phil Fulmer.
Number 2, Rashawn Salamstein.
Number 1, Charles Wood's son.
And that's it. So, is that metal enough for you?
No.
Ron Zook was my football coach for 3 years, and I'm still alive.
That is so metal.
Alabama!